Hello Nigeria, hello Africa. Yeah, this is Sound Man. Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Babalola from Excel LED. Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoy you all to always watch SOUQ News TV.
Hi, I'm Tom Bogaballs, and please keep watching SOUQ News.
Wale Seriki, SLG Lagos Island East, SOUQ News, keep out watching them and keep a lookout for them. They're up and coming, and we're proudly to be affiliated with them.
You alone where they make me go crazy. This your love in the cool of my brain. You're my medicine, I need you all day. Yo, it's Blackface Nigeria and you're watching SOUQ News TV. Keep it locked on this dial, don't change it. You know what I say? Blackface Nigeria, love no bad.
From Dubai to Lagos, Nigeria, and across the globe, SOUQ News TV is your #1 station focusing on business, economy, and development. With global digital reach, we connect Africa's pulse to the world stage. Welcome to SOUQ News Television, and here we go beyond the headlines. From breaking news, in-depth conversational programs, to market analysis and indices. From policies affecting growth to unique documentaries, from live event coverage to bespoke productions, we deliver content that connects you to the world. At SOUQ News Television, we provide news surrounding business, economy, and development, infomercials and jingles that stand out, short and long-form documentaries crafted to international standards, independent production spaces with full technical support, special coverage for individual and corporate events, a special form of documentaries through our prestige package, Immortals, where we tell your story the way you'd love it, and business support services tailored for small enterprises. SOUQ News TV, powered by FemWatch Limited, also home to the Isle 95.9 FM Lagos and Kasua 99.7 FM Kano, and Emirate News Television Abuja, together forming Africa's trusted media powerhouse. Storytelling, coverage, and connection that matters. SOUQ News TV, your home for business, economy, and development.
Welcome to the Africa Development Studies Center, ADSC. ADSC is an organization focused on training and research to advance sustainable development and growth in Africa. We exist to facilitate customized training, research, and study exchanges worldwide on leadership, management, and critical development issues. The center offers a platform for the exchange of ideas and best practices. Our comprehensive services encompass research, consultancy, capacity building, training, and education programs, as well as publishing and disseminating development-related knowledge. Our faculty consists of experts and researchers with extensive experience in policy formulation, implementation techniques, and monitoring and evaluation. Our methodology involves talks, individual and group exercises, games, video screenings, and discussion seminar sessions in a cozy atmosphere, making learning enjoyable for our participants. For more information, email us at info@adstudiecenter.com or call +234 912 039 2362. Visit our website at www.adstudiecenter.com to learn more about our programs and upcoming events. Africa Development Studies Center, rethinking development for Africa.
Muhammad Yunus was born on the 28th of June 1940 in the village of Batwa, Chittagong, a British Indian colony which is currently known as Bangladesh. He attended Lama Bazar Primary and Secondary School in his village and passed the matriculation examination into Chittagong Collegiate School, where he ranked 16th out of 39,000 students. After his graduation in 1961, Yunus joined the Bureau of Economics as a research assistant and was later appointed lecturer of economics at the Chittagong College. During that time, he also set up a profitable packaging factory on the side. In 1965, he received a Fulbright scholarship to study in the United States, where he obtained his PhD in economics from the Vanderbilt University Graduate Program in Economic Development. Between 1969 and 1972, after his keen education excellence of apex heights and proportions in the United States, he returned home and was appointed professor of economics at the University of Chittagong. He was eventually appointed onto the board of directors to the United Nations Foundation, where he served for 33 years. When Bangladesh suffered a famine in 1974, Yunus felt he had to do something for the very poor. In his country, he founded the Grameen Bank. His motivation was to create economic and social development for the very poor, giving long-term loans to those who wanted to start small enterprises to pay back when they can. The aim to help was to get many of them out of poverty. For this, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2006. Muhammad Yunus is a recipient of numerous international awards for his ideas and endeavors, including the Humanitarian Award in 1993, World Food Prize in 1994, Independence Day Award in 1987, Bangladesh's highest award, the King Hussein Humanitarian Leadership Award in 2000. He was also awarded the Volvo Environment Prize in 2003, Nikkei Asia Prize for Regional Growth in 2004, Franklin D. Roosevelt Freedom Award in 2006, as well as the Seoul Peace Prize in the same year. All humans are born entrepreneurs, he would always fondly say. His heart showed through his everyday life.
Under the bay, oh, 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 under the baobab tree, where shadows bend, the earth whispers tales, the wind.
Human rights are a fundamental and universal entitlement belonging to every person by birth, designed to ensure dignity, freedom, and equality regardless of race, nationality, or status. These inalienable rights form the very core of global governance. International human rights law, founded upon the Charter of the United Nations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR of 1948, establishes the binding obligation of government to protect these freedoms. A key success of this universal framework has been the continuous expansion of its legal body to protect vulnerable groups, including women, children, and persons with disabilities. This universal commitment forms the basis of this year's International Human Rights Day theme, Our Everyday Essentials, which seeks to reaffirm these principles not as abstract concepts, but as the practical foundation people rely on daily. Despite the strength of this legal foundation, challenges in implementation and new complexity result in an uneven global landscape. Millions are facing a critical lack of access to basic needs such as food, water, health, education due to persistent poverty and entrenched inequality. Recent World Bank estimates indicate that approximately 817 million people are currently facing extreme poverty, underscoring the severity of this implementation gap. Rapid advances in technology and digitalization also present novel hurdles concerning surveillance and privacy. Digital access, essential for modern civic participation, saw significant disruption in 2024 with 296 instances of internet service disruption, highlighting the growing threat to digital rights. This challenge is compounded by weak governance and the widespread persistence of armed conflict. These elements undermine fundamental rights by fueling instability and violence, often perpetuated by a lack of accountability for violations. The devastating impact on civilian life remains profound. The United Nations recorded a sharp 72% surge in the loss of civilian life in conflict zones in 2023, coupled with a record high of over 120 million forcibly displaced persons by the end of 2024. The human rights framework faces compounding issues such as climate change, which threatens the rights to life and health through environmental degradation. This has created a hazardous environment for advocates, with environmental human rights defenders facing substantial risk to their personal safety. Navigating a fair and constructive way forward requires key action across key primary fronts. Strengthening social safety nets through the establishment of universal social protection floors is vital to close the inequality gap and safeguard essential economic rights. Enhancing accountability is paramount. The international community must increase support for mechanisms that investigate and prosecute serious violations of humanitarian law, thereby countering impunity and restoring the rule of law. Also, the protection of civic space must be prioritized by regulating the digital sphere to ensure strong privacy rights and by enacting specific legal safeguards that protect activists, journalists, and human rights defenders from attacks, allowing them to perform their essential work without fear. Ultimately, ensuring human rights remain an ongoing commitment that demands measurable action over rhetorical assurance. By reinforcing the UDHR's principles through strategic investment in social protection, accountability, and the safeguarding of civic and digital freedoms, the global community can successfully transition these values from legal ideals into the everyday essentials that defines a life of dignity, freedom, and equality for all people. Praise Matthias, SOUQ News TV.
And the rules hold the reasons why.
Hello and welcome to the maiden edition of Queen's Court, where we discuss the role of women in leadership and nation building. I'm Juliet Benite, Reverend Juliet. In recent times, more women have stepped into leadership roles, demonstrating empowering role of education, technology, and access to information. These women leaders have not only achieved remarkable success in their fields, but also played pivotal role in promoting gender equality and education reforms. Today, we will be looking at the role of women in leadership and the unseen barriers. But before we set the ball rolling, let's go on a quick break and we'll be right back to introduce our guests. Welcome back. Women leaders already battling workplace stereotypes and seeking work-life balance found themselves shouldering more enormous responsibility in recent time. Hence, we will be looking at the role of women in leadership and the rising challenges. Joining me for this discussion is my sis, a big sis, but in this court, we will call you Lady. Lady Horochi Ogan, leadership consultant, and the CEO of O'Neill, a global management firm focused on leadership, at my immediate right. Welcome, Lady Horochi.
Thank you
to the
very
Queen's
much.
Court.
Thank you.
Made in Version.
Thank you.
A pleasure having you here.
I'm glad.
And of course, another big sis of mine, a wonderful, incredible woman leader, Lady Adiola Aziz. In this court, the Queen's Court. So get ready for that. A politician and a social entrepreneur, and of course, the founder of an NGO, Community Care Foundation, focused on empowering youth and women, and especially in agriculture, solving the hunger problem. And I just want to welcome you, sis, Lady Adiola. You're welcome to Queen's Court.
Thank you very much for having me.
We will be discussing these matters of women in leadership and the challenges. Yeah. And today's discussion is going to be focused more on the ideological issues of these leadership issues, because women and leadership is almost as if it's not something to go together. When you say women, it doesn't count leadership. So we want to have that discussion, understanding that women have been leading in the past. We have seen great women leaders. We have seen Queen Amina Ozaria. We have seen Funmilayo Ransom Kuti in the West, and we have seen Margaret Ekpo in the East. So even in Nigeria, we have women who have led and showed tremendous leadership. But they're also very minimal leaders all over, abysmal women in leadership in different spheres of influence. The banking sector is beginning to show up with great women as CEO at the top of the echelon of the bank. But however, do we have enough women who are going to occupy that seat the moment they leave? So this discussion is very important, especially to a new generation of women rising, with the issues of women leading both at home and at the city gate. That balance of things, we need to have that discussion. That's why it's important to have the discussion. I'm coming to you, Lady Adiola, and of course it's going to be the same, we'll dovetail to that same area of discussion on these rural women. Because of the issues of mindset, culture, educational background, and the 9 yards of the philosophy of understanding that women are also leaders, how do we navigate? Apart from education, training, let's say training, what is the intricate issues that you think is still limiting these women, even at the rural level? Let me give you an example. I was at a program where I needed to speak to some women. When they called me, I thought they were educated women, but I found out they were not, so I had to go into pidgin English a little bit. But I realized that these women have such capacity and role to play in the society. And they were complaining at the issues of the genital mutilation, the issue of the girl-child marriage. It was within the middle belt of Nigeria. And I was telling them, but you are a leader, you are women leaders. And they were like, no, what are you talking about? That's is the chief, is the this. So how are we going to go about, especially the rural Africa, because we have over 20 million women entrepreneurs, SMEs, and it's fundamentally women, adding to the GDP per capita of Nigeria. Incredible when I saw that data. And yet we say we are not leading. Can you speak to that? And Lady Horichi also would add to that comment, because it's at the center of this discourse in its ideological and philosophical level. Because before we talk about specializing in areas of leadership, do we really want the men to still tell us to lead, or can we just simply realize it?
You see, when you're talking about what you just said at the rural level, right? We need to understand that, like I said, most of them are illiterate, and most of them are controlled and led by their chiefs, the ballers, their husbands, and all of that. I'll give you an example. During the local government election, we had to have a by-election in one of my wards. And there was a particular woman who was very, very active, widow, 6 children, she was under 23. And I said to her that, why don't you come and represent the ward, because we needed you to be there. Somebody passed. And she said, yes. So I said, okay, we will support her, we will fund her, and all of that. Do you know that by the next day or 2 days later, when we reached her, we couldn't get her on the phone? And I actually paid somebody to go and look for her. Did something happen? What had happened was that her uncle, her late husband's brother, the ballers, and said, how dare she put herself forward? Or she said she didn't put herself forward, that it was Honorable Adiola Aziz who asked her, because she saw the potential. She mobilized a lot for us, and she went into hiding.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine that? So I now realize that what we need to do, we have to start the education from these male at that level who control these women.
Excellent.
During campaign, they're for you. They will do this, they'll support you, they say this is who we want. On the day of election, right, their husbands, the ballers, they would have given all of them. All of you, this is the direction you go. So when you have that kind of, I don't know what to call it, whether it's a directive, I don't want to use the word bullying or whatever, a directive from their husband,
that's what it is.
Whatever, to do this. So tell me, how do those women want to express themselves? By voting or deciding or taking choices or making decisions that they feel is right for them. It's not inclusive.
So we need strong advocacy.
We need strong advocacy, and we need to try and see how we can get the buy-in of these men who have a strong hold on their wives, their sisters, on these women, to say, look, this is your daughter. This is what will happen. And a woman at that level only cares for food on the table for the children and how the children will go to school. Once you can satisfy those 2 needs, right, a woman will thrive on her own. But when she doesn't have that independence of mind to make a decision by herself, hey, she's in bondage.
Wow.
She's in bondage, and that is at that local level. I saw it live and direct. So they do not have the capacity. They've got the competency. They do not have that capacity to take those decisions by themselves. So it's limiting, and it's patriarchy, it's stereotyping, and hey, why should you raise your head up to say you want to lead? Who's giving you permission?
Excellent. But in comparatively to that, let me even draw it back to even at the international level, we only have about 23% to 25% of women at the global level. So if the rural woman, the issue of that control, is it the same as the woman at the elite level who has gone to school, at least did her high school, or suddenly she disappeared? I have had friends who were probably acting before, they get married and they just disappear off the screen. What is it? Is it just the limiting factor from the men or the psychology of the women themselves, knowing that now that I'm married, maybe I'm not called to lead?
Very interesting question. Very interesting question, because even before you asked it, I wanted to use a corporate example equivalent to the rural one that
Excellent.
I attended an HR meet and greet meeting. It was a people-centered thing, and the head of HR of a multinational bank came to talk to us about barriers and women in the corporate world. She gave a practical example. She said, if there's a general management or CEO opportunity in Côte d'Ivoire, and you call a man and said, go and prepare, we're getting you ready, you're going to be the CEO in Côte d'Ivoire, the man will jump, thank, and if you call a woman, the woman will tell you, this is an exciting opportunity. Let me go home and discuss it with my husband. This is what is going on in the corporate world. I'm not talking about rural environment. So these barriers are real.
Yeah.
But in the same circumstances, we now had another CEO from a bank that told us about intentionality and planning. She said she went into banking career and she was intentional from word go that she was going to be at the top and nobody was going to limit her. It's not about